Good morning, everyone. We are Group 1, and today we are bringing the adventure to Ad Astra Adventures with our exciting analysis of the next new ride. Buckle up because we're about to take you through some thrilling options, break down some wild numbers, and explain why we think option 2 is the ride that will launch the park into the future. Let's get this party started. Here is our team. I am Sutton Dodds, lead architect. William Richter is the Assisting Director of Marketing. Rad Rodriguez is with Rodriguez Construction, and Colin Kelly is the Chief Operating Officer. All right, before we get into the roller coaster of data, let's set the scene. Ad Astra Adventures is already one of the biggest parks in the Midwest, but now they need something that'll draw even more people in. So, our mission, help them choose a new ride to boost their revenue, keep people coming back, and fit in with what today's thrill seekers really want. So, we're going to break down three ride options, their financials, the customer appeal, and finally, the winning ride. Let's see which one will rule the park.
All right, so let's get into the must-haves for the perfect ride. First off, it needs to generate serious revenue. We want those dollars rolling in. Next, we need to look at the cost. No one wants a ride that breaks the bank. Then we've got customer appeal. We'll need to make those visitors excited enough to hop in line. And finally, we'll check out how the ride fits in the park's day-to-day operations. Because let's be honest, no one wants to wait so long for a great ride. With those four things in mind, ready to dive into the options. All right, option one overview. So let's kick things off with option one. This one's got some cool features. A 200-foot ride with a speed of 60 miles an hour. So it's definitely exciting. It costs $6 million to build, and it'll bring in about $65.7 million annually in revenue. But the catch is, it has the slowest returns, with a break-even point of 120,000 riders. While it's fun, it's not quite on the fast track we're looking for. Let's move on to the next option. All right, with option two, let me tell you, this ride's a beast. It's got 6 loops and runs for 5 minutes, perfect for an adrenaline rush. It's got the highest capacity with 700 riders per hour, and it brings in a whopping $153 million annually. Now, it's not the fastest to break even at 160,000 riders, but trust us, in the long term, it's totally worth it. This is the kind of ride that's going to keep people coming back year after year. Let's look at the final option. Here we go, option three. The quickest to break even, but it's not quite the top revenue generator. At 70 feet tall and 20 miles an hour, it's a slow ride, but it's also a bit cheaper, coming in at $4 million to build. It'll bring in 120 million in revenue, and with only 80,000 riders needed to break even, it's super efficient. The catch, it doesn't bring in as much revenue as option two. So in the long run, it might not keep the visitors coming back.
Okay, here's the fun part, the numbers. As you can see, option two crushes the competition with 153 million in annual revenue, while option three pulls in 120 million, and option one comes in last at 65.7 million. So if we're looking for the ride that brings in the most money, option two is clearly the winner. And honestly, if you want to keep this park growing, option two is the way to go. Now, let's talk about the break even. This is how quickly each ride pays itself off. Option three is the fastest, with just 80,000 riders needed to cover the build cost. Option one comes next at 120,000 riders. And option two, well, it's the slowest with 160,000 riders. But here's the thing, while option two takes a little longer to break even, it brings in the most revenue, meaning it'll pay off in the long run. It's all about that big picture.
Now let's look at what customers actually want. Option two is the winner here. Young visitors, especially those 17 to 30, love fast, thrilling rides with loops. And guess what? Option two has every single one of those things. It also taps into the growing trend of virtual reality experiences, something younger generations are going to go wild for. Plus, it's high capacity, The ride won't have those crazy long lines that make visitors grumpy. It's everything people want all in one ride.
All right, now let's look at the financials. As we already know, option two generates the most revenue at $153 million annually. And while it takes 160,000 riders to break even, that's really a small price to pay for the crazy long-term profits. It's like buying an investment property. It starts off slow, but over time it'll keep growing. And when we look at the big picture, option two is hands down the best choice financially.
So, after all the numbers, facts, and customer insights, we've decided that option two is the clear winner. It generates the most revenue, has a solid break-even point, and checks all the boxes for what today's thrill seekers want. While it's not the fastest to break even, the long-term payoff is totally worth it. We believe option two will be the ride that takes Ad Astra Adventures to the next level.
All right, thank you for listening, and we're happy to answer any questions. That's it.